Time now for sports news on the news at 10 with Kayode Alayode.
Thank you, Enyimba. Welcome to Sports News. A spectacular pyrotechnic show, including a simulated volcanic eruption, lit up the Jakarta night skyline as Indonesia rolled out the red carpet for the continent's elite athletes in the opening ceremony for the 18th Asian Games. The centerpiece of the set was a huge model of a volcano around which 3,600 performers danced in various colorful costumes, entertaining an enthusiastic crowd as millions watched around the continent on television. Some 9,000 security personnel stood guard at the stadium. Now, organizers say 100,000 police and military personnel will be on duty to protect the games, while facial recognition technology will be used at some of the venues. Elsewhere, Nigeria's representatives in the CAF Confederation Cup, Enyimba, are in confident mood ahead of the crucial encounter with Djoliba of Mali tomorrow. The two-time African champions arrived safely in Bamako and have had training sessions to prepare for the game. Enyimba will face Djoliba at Modibo Keita Stadium at 7 p.m. The Aba Elephants know that they have to avoid defeat on March Day 5 to keep their destiny in their own hands. And Cardiff City and Newcastle had to settle for a goalless draw in the English Premier League's early kickoff. Elsewhere, Everton held off a resurgent Southampton side to mark Marco Silva's first competitive home match as Toffee's boss with 2-1 victory at Goodison Park. 10-man Leicester City also beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0 at the King Power Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur beat Fulham 3-1 at Wembley, while Bournemouth secure a priceless 2-1 away victory over West Ham in London. In the last game of the day, Chelsea beat Arsenal 3-2 in a thriller at Stamford Bridge. And retired track and field star Usain Bolt has arrived in Sydney, Australia, ahead of the trial at the country's league side, the Central Coast Mariners. Fans cheered and posed for selfies with the Olympic champion, who said he loved Australia and was happy to call the country home, at least for now. However, skeptics wonder if the 31-year-old can make it as a professional footballer. Well, we wish him good luck. And that's it on sports news as well. On the news at 10, Gimba Umar is back in just a moment.
As Nigeria's High Commissioner to South Africa, Ambassador Ahmed Musa takes a bow from office to focus on his political ambition. His hopes remains that Nigeria and South Africa pull down more policy barriers that will help improve ties and trade between both countries. Ambassador Ibeto speaks on the killings of Nigerians in South Africa and a picture of the situation he has seen. Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Pt.4, reports.
Ambassador Ahmed Musa Ibeto has been Nigeria's High Commissioner to South Africa for less than a year. It's no longer news he's resigned, but he hopes both countries will keep improving relations.
By the time when we convened the Binational Commission, it's the issue of allowing some of these Nigerian businesses to thrive in South Africa. Like for instance, we already have an air agreement, but unfortunately air transport agreement. But unfortunately, we have at present 2 airlines that wanted to come into South Africa to operate. But believe me, it was very difficult. Also, Airlink intended to make a direct flight to Abuja, and they are finding it difficult.
Like his predecessors, his tour of duty also witnessed incidents involving the death of a number of young Nigerians in South Africa, a picture many Nigerians are unhappy about.
With the statistics we have, you know, it is very clear that more Nigerians are being killed by Nigerians rather than Nigerians being killed by South Africans. The statistics are there, they can't lie. South Africa have a kind of, a system where they collect data. You know, they have statistics of all the crimes, all the killings and everything. The last one, if you remember in Gauteng, in Johannesburg, it was even a Nigerian that, you know, insisted that his fellow Nigerian must leave his premises, and as a result of that, he shot him. So he was not killed by South African. So these are the kind of things that I believe that we should correct in the minds of not only Nigerians but South Africans.
Ambassador Beto, former deputy governor of Niger State, has his eye on the governor's seat once more, and he's had to leave his party, the All Progressives Congress, to his former party, the People's Democratic Party. Why return to a place you left earlier? What has changed? Yeah.
Well, let me say that the situation that was obtained before has changed. The prevailing atmosphere, I believe that it is conducive for me to aspire and also to achieve my aspiration.
The outgoing High Commissioner expects to return to Nigeria after the required formalities of disengagement between both countries are concluded. From Pretoria, South Africa, Djoliba, Channels Television News.
India's army is stepping up efforts to rescue thousands of people stranded by flooding across India's southern Kerala state that has killed 324 people. Hundreds of troops and dozens of boats and helicopters are helping to evacuate people from what officials say is the worst flooding there in a century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier flew over the worst-hit areas and met with state officials to discuss the crisis. Strong winds and more rain is predicted in the region, and a red alert is in place. Officials say that across India, close to 1,000 people have been killed in the current rainy season, which began in June. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today returned to the nation's capital, Abuja, after a 10-day vacation in London. The president, who is expected to preside over a security meeting on Monday, also vowed to jail more individuals who caused Nigeria's economic problems. That's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night. Good night.